Good morning. I'm higher vibrations and so are you. We're going to cover some Ascension symptoms today, as well as like a couple other things that have been coming through that need to be addressed. First off, I apologize for my long absence. I had to have some dental stuff addressed that turned out to be a little bit more extensive than I expected. So the dizziness that's been occurring as an Ascension symptom lately, I mean, it hasn't really stopped for me. I mean, I'm sure, I feel like everybody's going to relate to this. You know what I mean? Like, it's come and go for a lot of people that I've talked to. But for me, it's pretty consistent. Like, I mean, and it's not dramatic in every case, but I mean, sometimes I just want to lay down, you know, and that's okay. You know, your body's being called to do something for a reason. I've found that the headaches are, like reminder for me to stop for a minute and to just kind of go back to my heart center and find myself. You know, like, I don't know if every single one of the symptoms, the physical symptoms that we are experiencing, is directly related to or is part of that part of our DNA upgrading right then. You know, perhaps instead, it's calling us to go into a place or a state within ourselves in this physical vessel that we exist within at this moment and make it so it's prepared to receive something. Like, as soon as I go into meditation and I start getting immediate, like, overwhelmed almost of downloads, the headache goes away. And as soon as I like, oh, well, I should, you know what I mean? Like, it comes back. It's my body telling me it's time to meditate. So, you know, some of these other things that we're experiencing that have solutions for, you know, the dizziness also has a solution of grounding, touching soil, or, you know, standing in the grass or standing outside as any way you can, barefoot, you know what I mean? And like bringing a pot of dirt into the house and putting your feet in it. Dizziness goes away. Like, it's pretty awesome. Often it just makes the dizziness more manageable. You know, and a lot of these things are manageable. Most of them, all of them. If you go into a place of meditation and ask for it to be turned down a little bit, it will. You can imagine or visualize seeing a dial of some type, like for the volume of your radio, and turning it down a notch or two, or however much you want to. This isn't meant to cause distress. It doesn't need to be too difficult. So try some of that. So some of those suggestions. I've had some weird cravings too lately. Like, I want one thing. My body wants that one thing. And it's bizarre. The type of experience that I'm noticing that my body is relaying to me is fascinating. The type of hunger that it solved, it's different. It's a different experience. Eating is turning into, like, you can feel it after. It's like, wow, that's exactly what my body needed then. Suddenly energized and just like, yeah, let's go. You know, and some of the diet changes that I've had have been pretty dramatic over the recent years. You know, I went from being a pick the protein before you decide what it's going to be person, very carnivore, you know, and to practically vegan. Just remove the meat as much as you can, you know, and if you can avoid canned foods that are canned in tin or aluminum, drinks, stuff like that, that'll help you through this ascension process a bit more, quite a bit more from my experience. And increase the water intake. Drink the water. Tiredness has been pretty profound, on and off, but at the same time, it's a different kind of tired. It's weird. I'm not really exhausted. I don't know how to explain it. I've been noticing that my back has been doing some weird stuff, and it feels like another activation of some kind, like maybe chakra center or something. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's the same thing that happened to my hands and my feet and my head, and it's just this weird It's not uncomfortable. It's a bit surprising when it does this movement thing. And I'm familiar with it now enough to not be concerned. It's just bizarre. You know, and so there's something going on there, as well as the base of my head and the back. That spot, I guess, you know, like you can call it like the dream chakra, right? But that spot is really bizarre. Like there's been a lot of like spasms and like jerking and like feeling like I have like something crawling on me in that area, just kind of like tickly a little bit and vibraty kind of feeling sometimes, as well as my hair is growing different there. Like it feels, it's more coarse. And I thought, oh no, maybe I'm going gray. So I like pulled some, you know, and no, in fact, my hair's darker there, but that's just because the sun, you know, lightens my hair on the outside. But anyway, weird. I don't really know. Is anyone else experiencing that? It's very interesting to me. As we ascend into this new space, this fourth dimensional frequency on the way into our fifth, which we really are. And anyway, we are going through that fourth dimensional frequency space that is known for, that's our dream space. We've been interacting in that space for a long time. And now, as the ascension continues forward and upward, more and more dreams, sleep time isn't really designed, it's not the same experience as it used to be. That is usually more time for work these days, I've noticed. So the synchronicities are seeing a series of numbers that are, you know, 888 or like, you know, 1111 or 1234, stuff like that, you know, and there's been a massive increase in that. You know, they've been known as angel numbers. I love going to willowsoul.com. That used to be like the beginning of my awakening. I would like go check the numbers and see what they mean, because they're messages, right? They all are messages. It's just another method of transmitting some type of message to you from the higher realms, from your higher self, from the oversoul, from source, where these messages need to come through to us and to help us. It's an encouragement, maybe a little bit of guidance. And that segues into the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which is I'm being called to relay to you all that many people right now are trying to communicate. We are turning on. We're getting a new set of power tools, kids. It's going to be fun. But there's like training. There's class. As that's happening, a lot of us are starting to crave answers more. They're asking more and more questions and trying to find new ways to receive them. The thing is a lot of people are still relying on other people for those messages. I'm not here to bring you a message. I'm here to confirm a message you already know. All of us are here for that. Anyone who's trying to tell you that they know more than you and that they're delivering some kind of unique wisdom, they're full of it. Don't watch them anymore. We're here to help each other, not to dominate. And what's happening is these messages are being sent into you, all of us. And they're not always being acknowledged for the beautiful message that they are. From your angels, from your higher self, from source. So let's talk about that. There's a couple of ways. Songs is one way that I feel like I've always gotten messages. And through song, messages come to us. Each person has a different meaning for each song, too. It's not simply the words that you're listening to. Each person identifies with music differently, certain music. So that's one way you will be getting those messages, along with synchronicities, along with, seeing other things pop up. Synchronicities don't have to be numbers all the time. Titles of movies, books. As you're scrolling through Netflix or whatever it is that you do for your time, what pops up? And a lot of times there'll be a series of things like, that's another way that we get these messages is through those types of things. But dreams has always been the primo way that messages are relayed to us. And often it's very difficult to translate those messages completely because we try to use a 3D method of communication. We're presented with these packets, these parcels, these packages of information that look like a closed lotus flower, and one petal at a time peels out to reveal itself for you to understand it. That's how communication usually occurs in most other dimensional frequency space. So translating the information that you get from those places, those higher frequencies, is sometimes difficult. I used to try to do a dream journal, but turning on a light while I was, in the middle of sleeping basically didn't usually work out very well, so I could write. So what I started doing was I started using my phone and like texting it to myself or emailing from my phone, and even that became difficult. So now I just do a voice recording of myself, and I'll go back and listen to it. And I have found that the voice recording has been the best method because it helps me stay in that state longer and more information is presented. And something that about discernment is important to be mentioned here. Just because we're receiving a message doesn't mean it's meant, it's true. If it depends on how it makes you feel. You have two opposites. Does it make you feel fear, or does it make you feel love? Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. The other experience that will be presented to you in some form or fashion other than love is fear. If it presents fear to you, it's BS. It's garbage. It's not true. It's a presentation of a template of a reality that the lower unhappy frequencies are trying to present to us. And just because we receive a message doesn't mean that it's prophetic. It doesn't mean that's going to happen. It's information. Use your discernment. If it makes you feel fear or anything like that, send love to it, and it will stop. It cannot. Fear and love cannot exist on the same plateau. They can't. Send it love, and it will leave. And that's something else too, is the feelings or the emotions, like the instincts that we get. Society has taught us to not trust ourselves. That's been the best guys, right? That's been the biggest trick, is that we need somebody. We need an intermediary. We need somebody to deliver a message for us when we pray. We need somebody to give us a message, the answer. Somebody else outside of us. You have the power of discernment. You know what resonates. You know what it feels like. How many times have you told a scary dream, and as you tell it, you say, I don't know why it was so scary. Because the dream isn't always, it's hardly ever much about the actual images that you see apart from symbols and such. I mean, in contrast to the emotion that you experience, the sensations that you have in that space is the true message. And what is that telling us? Is it making us feel good? Then I would accept it. I hope this helped. I hope that I didn't ramble too much. I'm sorry that I've been gone so long, and I will try to start making more regular videos again. I hope you're having a wonderful journey. Thank you for your service. Thank you for putting yourself out there. Thank you for being such a brave soul to come here with us, to raise the vibration of this planet, to free the souls, to free this world. It's a great sacrifice that you've made, but you came here prepared. We all know what to do. It's in there. And the biggest, most powerful solution or key that I have found is staying in contact with other starseeds, with other awakened individuals. We just need to participate with one another. Comment. Send me an email. you know, participate. And if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe to this video, it would really help. I hope you're having a wonderful journey. Aho Blessings.